Demons, the original film by Lamberto Bava in 1985, is one of the great 80s horror films. Just so endearingly cheesy, with great monster makeup effects and gore and really awesome music. Just a very memorable film that's close to my heart. I've talked about it on my channel before, probably a very long time ago, but I haven't talked about the sequel, Demons 2, which, I'll say it's a worthy sequel. You can't really beat the original since it is such a classic, but this one, I think it holds its own. I think it keeps all of those elements that made the first one so memorable. We have pretty much everyone, behind the scenes returning, the same writers, and also directed by Bava, with Dario Argento co-writing and producing the film, and same special effects team. And we keep with that same stuff, the same demonic fun, the same cheesiness. Probably the cheesiness is amped up even more in this one, and same kind of rock music and stuff like that. So it's a good time. So a very worthy sequel, I would say. Though it is hard to really exactly pinpoint how this kind of connects to the first movie as serving as a sequel. It's hard to explain if it is explainable at all, but basically I guess you could take it one of two ways, and that's one way is that, the ending of the first movie, you may recall, everything that happens in the first movie, the movie comes to life inside the movie theater, and the demons are running amok, and by the end of it all, they're in the streets. They've spread everywhere, and it's like almost like this, post-apocalyptic wasteland that the survivors are, driving into, right? So the sequel doesn't really follow up on that, though maybe it does. I don't know. So basically, either that ending for the first film, either everything was very quickly resolved, the demons were defeated, and everyone quickly moved on and forgotten, and they even made a movie about it, which aired on TV that everybody watched. Or it could very well be that the first movie, in the reality of the second movie, is simply a movie in and of itself that is playing on TV in this movie, because it's through the TV, not the movie screen, where the demons, that's where they emerge. So that's what we see in this second film. So either way, I guess it's a movie about a movie that comes to life inside a movie theater, that gets aired on TV, that the evil comes out of that TV. So I don't know. So that's kind of how it connects, as loosely as you can kind of string them together, I guess. So all that's probably irrelevant. We have a new setting this time around. It's in a high-rise apartment building, kind of following varying residents of this building, new characters that we see. Though interestingly, in the same kind of vein as Return of the Living Dead Part 2, which I talked about earlier in the month, this one takes a similar concept of, hey, let's take a memorable actor or actors from the first movie and bring them back, but since they died in the first movie, let's give them a different role. And in this case, it's Bobby Rhodes, who played, the tough guy biker dude in the previous film. Here he's playing this tough guy gym instructor who basically leads this whole revolt of gym bros against the demons, and they're pretty successful for some time. The film also has the debut of Asia Argento, young girl in this movie, and decent cast altogether. It's cheesy material. We're not dealing in Shakespeare here. Same kind of Italian production where the lines are said phonetically for those who may or may not speak English. So the result is the spaghetti western kind of effect, where it's very, very cheesy. But oh so fun, oh so irresistible, and boy, this movie is a lot of fun. And you know, they do amp up the effects quite a bit, and you know, they push the envelope, I would say, a little bit further. It has some brutal moments to it. I mean, nobody's really safe in this movie. I mean, animals aren't safe, little children aren't safe, so the movie takes no prisoners, and it's, you know, as brutal as the first film, but in this different environment, with the same kind of atmosphere. And I think, you know, it matches with the first film so well because it was just made so soon after it, right? I mean, you can't really say much about the next movies in the series, which that's a whole point of contention. What's an official Demons 3 and what's not? I don't know. That's a whole conversation to get into. But maybe they should update it for modern days. You know, do a Demons reboot. Maybe this time they could come out of like smartphones, like jump out of your TikTok screen. Maybe that would be something. You know, but as it stands, you know, I think it's a worthy sequel. I think it's great for a double bill with the first. Harnesses the same magic as the first. Maybe a little bit underrated, I would say, just a little bit, because, you know, I think this is every bit as enjoyable as the first film. But obviously the first just has that classic status to it that you can't really beat. So Demons 2, really, really entertaining film. 80s horror greatness. You got to check it out. So thank you very much for watching today. We're doing 31 Days of Horror here on the channel. Spooky, scary horror movie reviews all throughout October 2024. Stay tuned for more. Be sure to comment, rate, subscribe. I'll see you next time, and until then, stay scared.